This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. I was talking to my producer before we got ready for this segment about whatever happened to springtime in Canada. You know, remember the old Where's Waldo books? Well, I think we should do a couple of books called Whatever Happened to Springtime in Canada. It is wet, it is dismal, it is gloomy outside. I think the sun has been out for a total of 10 days in the last 2 months. It sucks. But what are you going to do, right? You can't argue with Mother Nature. I don't know why she argues enough with us, but hey. Welcome back, everyone. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell, coming to you from our broadcast center in gloomy, I was going to say doomy and gloomy, but let's just stick with gloomy, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. If you'd like to check us out online, our website is xzoneradiotv.com. And if you'd like to listen to all the great programming that is available to you on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, 724-365, check us out at www.xzbn.net. My guest this hour, X-Zone Nation, is Lorna Adams. And Lorna has been communicating with her spirit guide since she was about 14. The information first came slowly in the middle of the night. At the time, she was very fortunate to have a family friend who had been communicating with her guides for about 45 years, and she soon became Lorna's mentor. Now, Lorna began to type the information that Spirit would pass on to her, and would then take up her writings to her friend. They spent many hours in deep discussion over the years, as she would explain what Lorna's spirit guides were talking about. Over the years, Lorna developed the ability to control when she would channel or communicate with her guides, always writing or typing the messages or lessons they were kind enough to pass to her. Joining us now is Ms. Lorna Adams. And Lorna, welcome to the X-Zone.
Hi, Rob. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's always great having super people here with us. And middle of the night, 14 years old, hearing voices. Did it scare you at all?
You know, it never did scare me. It was very, along with the voices, I would get pictures also, visions, I guess. Right. I don't know. I just call them pictures. So it never scared me. I'm not sure why. It's not like I saw, people that had passed walking around or anything like that. But I was never afraid of it for some reason.
Besides yourself, anybody else in your family ever have this happen to them?
No. Excuse me. My family always knew that I, was able to do this. And my sister's boyfriend died in a motorcycle accident when I was 19. And he was really like a brother to me when I was growing up. And so a few days after he died, I started communicating with him. He came through to me. I wasn't trying to communicate with them. And that's when I realized I could also communicate with people that had passed. So surprising.
How did you feel knowing that you had the gift to communicate with those who had passed on to the other side, that you could communicate with life after death?
Well, again, for some reason, it just felt really normal to me and it felt familiar. It didn't feel scary. And the guy who passed, his name was Dennis. And it just felt, who I'd known for many, many, many years growing up. It just felt like I was speaking to Dennis. So it was fascinating. I had a fascination with early on life after death, and started some of the first books I read were by Ruth Montgomery, who was very well known back in the day. And I was just always drawn to this spiritual side of life and the afterlife, and Raymond Moody, and all these people. So to me, it was just fascinating, and it still is.
All right, you and I have to take our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll be discussing more of this fascinating phenomenon. It's basically channeling, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, Lorna Adams is our special guest. Exonation, www.lornaadams.com is her website. And Lorna and I will be back on the other side of this break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, where I think the sun has forgotten where to shine on us. Oh, just one day of sun would be nice. I'm Rob McConnell. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
Hello, I'm Pete Marsh. With my daughter Justina, we will be presenting the new radio show, Too Good to Be True. If something seems too good to be true, it usually is. But with the help of Justina's amazing gifts, we're going to gain insight into questions that don't yet have complete answers. Have you wondered who built Stonehenge and for what reason? Why are crop circles found in the same region as Stonehenge and elsewhere? Are crop circles a hoax, or are they created with technologies that we have little knowledge of? Who built the pyramids in Egypt and also in other countries? How and why were they built? Was the Titanic switched with the Britannic as part of a gigantic insurance fraud, or for more insidious reasons? What caused the Tunguska event when trees were flattened over an 800 square mile area in Siberia? Will the new insights be too good to be true? Well, that will depend on what you are prepared to believe. Please join us as we start on this journey together. For more information on Too Good to Be True, visit www.xzbn.net.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
Nation, Lorna Adams is our special guest this hour, www.lornaadams.com. And Lorna, what did your friends and family say when you told them that you had the ability to talk to people who had died and gone to the other side?
Well, my family knew, as I had said, and my family really wasn't shocked by that. It just seemed rather normal. No one else in my family has this ability.
Right.
And I have to say, as far as my friends go, I was really in the closet for many, many years. I had a couple of other careers that I did before I started doing readings full time 10, 11 years ago. So my friends never knew. And so it was a little bit scary when I came out of the psychic closet and hung out my sign.
Yeah.
And actually none of my friends, I have many friends that I've known for 20 plus years. Nobody reacted, like, oh, are you crazy? What are you talking about? No, that was my fear, and it was unfounded, thank goodness. And my friends just said, wow, that's really interesting, and that pretty much that was it.
So when you're discussing something with those on the other side, how do you connect with them?
Well, what I do before every reading is I do a prayer and meditation and talk to my guides and, God and my angels. And I do, a few things during a meditation. I ask to be open and ask that anybody, because before I do a reading, I don't know if people are going to want to talk to the afterlife or not.
Right.
Many times they don't. So I just ask them, those people on the other side that are related to this person coming, to just sort of stand by. And they do, which is amazing. I had a reading this morning with a lady in Tennessee, and all of it was afterlife. She had lost her son and her mother and father and a brother early. And so it's very, very interesting, very intense. And each person is very unique in the afterlife, just like they are when they're alive. So it's interesting.
Do you ever get tired of people asking the same questions time and time again when you're doing a reading?
I really don't. I would think that I would, but I don't, because every person is unique. Their path is unique, their lessons that they're learning, and their spirit guides are very unique, and the answers are always different. It's just different information for different people.
I don't think I'd make a very good psychic or a reader.
Why is that?
They start whining. I say, get on with life. Come on, move it, move it, move it. Next question.
Well, I have to tell you, Rob, sometimes the guides are, I'll have to preface something with, And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, really, I have to pass this on? And they're like, yeah, it's, and it's for their highest good.
Oh my gosh.
And I'll preface it with, okay, now this isn't meant to be sarcastic or mean, because they really do. Spirit guides don't have a lot of time to waste, and they really get to it. And it's not mean spirited. It's just, what they remind me is, they say kind of tongue in cheek, how long do you think you have down there anyway? Life goes by just like that. So just like you said, get on with it.
Yeah. When you're talking or communicating with the other side, have you ever asked them what it's like to be dead?
Yes, absolutely. They many times offer that information. It seems to be extremely peaceful, no matter what your life was like. Sometimes it's deeply reflective. It's a variety of things. I have never encountered, something awful, speaking with anybody who's passed.
How many hours a day do you work as a psychic? Do you ever suffer from psychic burnout?
I do. If I work too much, I do, because it takes a great deal of energy. So doing this work, it's not like I can work 8 hours a day. Because it's just energetically, it's exhausting. So if and it's like any business, it has like an ebb and flow. And so I've got an annual sale going on right now for the first 2 weeks of May, and so things are really busy. And if I get too wound up, my husband will remind me. He's like, when did you take a day off last? So I'll have to fit in a day off just to chill and come down from that, because it's pretty intense work.
So how do you advertise your specials? Hey there, step right up. Are you tired of talking to the living, getting nowhere on this side? Well, have I got a deal for you? For these 2 weeks and these 2 weeks only, I will help you communicate with those on the other side. Find out where the treasure is. Find out what Mom really thought and where Dad used to hide the keys to the car.
I think that's a take right there. That's it. That's my spot. That's it. I love it. Oh, I don't advertise, and I only do a sale once a year, and people just sort of, find me.
Sure.
Yeah, they find me online. They find me on Facebook. I live in Las Cruces, New Mexico, which is about an hour from El Paso, Texas. So, I think a lot of it, I just win by default because I'm just here and I've been here. A lot of people in Las Cruces, they seem to come and go, and we've just stayed here. So I don't do too much advertising at all.
This isn't a sarcastic question. This is a real question. Do those on the other side ever recommend you to people who are trying to communicate with them?
They do.
Ah.
They do. And I believe that spirit, it's been my experience that spirit speaks through people many times. And as an example, I'll tell clients, if you've heard from 3 different people, that new place over there is taking, resumes or applications for somebody that's looking for a job or whatever. It could be anything. And if you hear the same thing from 3 or 4 people, I believe that is spirit speaking through them, trying to get a message to us. And we as human beings can be pretty dense sometimes and pretty slow. That's just how we are sometimes. I'm the same way. And so it takes quite a few times to get the message across. Someone will come and see me and they say, I've been meaning to see you for a year and your name keeps coming up. And, come to find out this woman's brother, really wanted to speak with her. He had passed. So that does happen, actually. So, yeah.
Have you ever been out with your husband shopping or doing something with the family and a spirit wants to communicate with you? Not when you're working, but right then and there? And if so, how do you deal with it?
I don't. That really, I'm lucky. I think I'm fortunate. That really doesn't happen to me. I don't work that way. My guides will give me a heads up sometimes when I'm driving. Because we have free will, it's just suggestive. I see other psychics like, some of these movies and television. And I think that must be such a burden. I just I turn it on and off. And when I'm working, I'm working. My guides are always sort of, there. If I misplace something in the house, they'll say, oh, it's over there. It's, they'll tell me where it's at. So that's kind of handy. But I'm lucky that that they don't bombard me when I'm not working. I just go on with my life.
You are one lady I will never play poker with.
Well, that's very true.
No, I can just see a friendly, and I'm putting friendly in brackets here, a friendly card game at Lorna's house, and here she is. She's, most people play with stacked decks, right, when they want to cheat. But no, not you. You have stacked spirits.
I have to tell you, my husband and I, we were at a casino in Santa Fe, near Santa Fe, New Mexico. And that's really pretty much what happened. I was playing a slot machine, and they said, and I said, okay, I'm just going to experiment. And, we're not big gamblers or anything. We just like to have some fun when we leave. And sure as heck, I'd won I think it was like $143. And I said, okay, I'm done. I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, so it was quite nice.
This is a card game at Lorna's house. All right, I'll bet your spirits and raise you 2 more. There you go.
I don't know. My deck is loaded. It's in my favor, I think. So,
do you consider what you have as a gift or a curse at times?
I've never thought of it as a curse. Trying to think. No, I've never thought of it as a curse, because I learned at an early age to control it,
right?
And turn it on and off. And people ask me that, and when I'm at the supermarket or something, I don't tune into people because why? How could I get confirmation?
Sure.
And I wouldn't want to bombard someone like a TV show and say, hey, your mother wants to talk to you. I just think that's so invasive,
I think it's so phony.
Yes.
Oh,
yes, that
on.
too. Yeah, I don't. It's hard because I believe every psychic works differently. And then, we have to add that there are so many fakes and phonies.
Yeah.
I think it's very difficult for people to find a real psychic. So.
What's the difference? You used 2 different words, guides and spirits. Are they one and the same, or do they each have a specific job?
They really are. I will refer to them as spirit, but they really are spirit guides, because we all have spirit guides. And I just describe spirit guides as that inner knowing, that inner guidance, that inner GPS that we all have, that, sort of that feeling. Maybe when we're younger, maybe not. If we're in a place and you think to yourself, I shouldn't be here. This is not a good place I need to leave, that sort of thing. I think that's happened to everybody, but that's spirit. Those are spirit guides.
Yeah, I get that feeling when I stop at the local pub on my way home. And then I've told Laura that I'll be right home after work. That's the feeling I get. People that have come to see you, I believe you said that they are sometimes afraid to hear what the other side has to say?
Yeah, many people are afraid because they have a preconceived idea, or have had, many people, it's surprising, have had a really bad experience with a psychic and been told very, scary things. You have bad energy around you, and really just terrible things that people tell me they've experienced. So, I think they're rather brave to try me, although I try and be as transparent as possible on my website and on the phone also, or in person. So there is a lot of fear because people don't understand the process. And there are psychics out there. I heard a woman told me one time that this psychic told her that literally she told her, get your affairs in order. You've only got like 2 months to live. And I was like, what?
Unless
are
you pay me
serious?
$400 and I can give you that extension,
Exactly. And I hear those stories too. And I think, you got to be kidding me. And there are those cons out there that call themselves psychic. So I struggle with that because I think, well, maybe I should call myself something else.
No, you
What,
see,
an
they're the con.
intuitive
No,
or,
you see, how I see it is, I've got to go to a commercial break first of all. But how I see it, Lorna, you said there are the cons out there, and then there's the pros like you. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Lorna Adams is our special guest, lornaadams.com. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell in a very gloomy, rainy, wet, damp Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
Dreams are our personal gateways into infinite wisdom. Don't miss shamanic counselor and indigenously trained dream decoder Sandra Corcoran's inspiring book, Shamanic Awakening Between the Dark and the Daylight. This remarkable work chronicles Sandra's 35 years of experience with diverse wisdom keepers and her initiations throughout the Americas and across the British Isles, Turkey, Greece, and Egypt. Sandy's knowledge of symbology, psychology, and myth influence her dream blog and workshops. Sandy offers private tarot readings, international journeys, a meditative CD, as well as her book, Shamanic Awakening, to encourage you as you navigate this earth walk, creating a deeper connection to yourself and all that is. Find this and more at Sandy's website, starwalkervisions.com.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
How would you like to be able to read other people's minds? Well, the next best thing is here. When you know how to read a person's name, you know how the person thinks, feels, and behaves. Each letter in our name holds a key to unlock our true essence. Our name contains both our gifts and challenges in this lifetime. Mnemology science discovers personality secrets hidden in the placement of the letters of our names, including the first and last impression people remember about us. Sharon shows us how to interpret the arrangement of letters as outlined in her book, Know the Name, Know the Person. Sharon Lynn Wyeth created mnemology science after 18 years of research and testing her theories, and has supported thousands of people around the world in understanding themselves and others better. You'll enjoy Sharon's unique teachings as she shares her system to learn the gifts behind your given birth name. Even if you don't like your birth name, there are jewels in this book. If you're thinking of changing your name, ready to name your child, or wanting to get along better with others, this is the book for you. If you'd like to improve your relationships and change your life for the better, get the book today, Know the Name, Know the Person, or visit www.knowthename.com. That's www.knowthename.com.
Hello, I'm Justina Marsh, and with my dad Pete, we are going to present a new show called Too Good to Be True. Together, we are aiming to discover more truths about this world and beyond. Do you have unanswered questions about the world? Do you ever wonder about aliens, conspiracy theories, or the universe? There are many shows discussing subjects such as pyramids or UFOs, but we want to relay this information based on our own research, including from spiritual means. Hopefully, listeners will be helped with their own beliefs and will appreciate the psychic insights that add to the previous research and information. We both look forward to sharing this insight and beginning this journey with our listeners. Visit xzbn.net for more information about when to listen.
Exonation, Lorna Adams is our guest. Our website is lornaadams.com. Have you ever had a person ask you a question to ask somebody on the other side that has just floored you?
You mean their answer?
No, their question to the other side.
Not really.
No,
I have to say, the questions that people ask, the biggest thing that people want to know when they lose someone that they love, whether it be a mother, a husband, is are they okay? That's always the question. Are they okay? Did they make it? Are they still around? Am I just imagining, that he's still with me because I feel him with me or her? That's the biggest question.
How do you do this? Like I would be bawling my eyes out.
You mean as a psychic?
Yeah, like I'm sorry, like my kids call me a teddy bear, and if I watch something on TV and I'm blubbering, I'm a softie, and I hear stories like this, are you okay? I feel him still with me. It's like, oh my God, how do you do it?
Well, I'm so focused on the person that's coming through, and energetically I have to connect with them, and sometimes the energy is always different. Someone has just died or been gone for a long time, and so I'm focused on that, and they're also speaking to me in pictures, and they're giving me little bits of information, and so I'm trying as hard as I can to be really clear about what I'm receiving and what I'm passing on, because that person sitting in front of me so desperately wants that information. So I take my job very seriously in passing that information on. I know what you mean about the emotion of it. It's a little bit I don't want to say awkward. I feel so much for the people. I mean, this is why I do this, though. I do this hopefully to be of service, to help people, to help them find some peace with such a loss like that. A mom who lost her son, like as was the case this morning. So I sort of am standing aside because I'm busy listening and seeing to the person that's passed,
Have you ever tried to communicate with a spirit on behalf of somebody who's asked you to contact the spirit, and the spirit on the other side says, no, go on, talk to them. Nope. Want nothing to do with her. After what she put me through, I don't want to even talk to her. Goodbye. Poof.
Yeah. The interesting thing about that is those are very human emotions and human feelings. And people on the other side are, all of those feelings have been removed. There is when dad comes through, there is no resentment. There is no anger. There is no addiction. There's all of that has fallen to the side. Everything is gone. Those are human emotions. Some people are afraid to come for a reading because, my sister might be mad. She's still mad at me. And there's no mad on the other side. There's no anger. There's none of that. There's just love. That sounds goofy, doesn't it? But it's true.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't sound goofy at all.
Yeah. That's how they come through. Just love, compassion, empathy, for the loss, all of that.
So what is the difference between a spirit that you communicate with and a ghost that haunts a house?
Good question. Some souls, some people that have a soul and have left their physical body, we'd say they died.
Yeah.
Some, they actually don't know that they've died.
How can you not know you're dead?
Yeah, I know. That is a weird one.
It sure is.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I've dealt with it because I do house clearings also. And do
you do windows?
I'm sorry?
Do you do windows?
Absolutely not. No windows. I won't even do my own windows.
Just thought I'd ask.
Oh, that's funny. So no, this made me laugh. There are stuck, souls or entities that are stuck. And I go to the house and I communicate with them, and I say, "Why are you here?" And a lot of times they're stuck because they feel an obligation. Many times, and they don't want to leave the house, or they think they're going to leave without their spouse, something like that. And so a lot of times I'll be able to have the opportunity to clarify that and help them go.
Do ghosts have a shelf life?
No.
No, eh?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Living here in New Mexico, there are many, many, many haunted. A lot of battles took place here. A lot of, Native Americans, a lot of that leftover energy. There was actually, I found out a couple of years ago, there was an internment camp here in Las Cruces during World War II. And a lady who found me actually, it's like farmland now because there's a lot of farming here, pecans, alfalfa, that sort of thing. And she lived near one of the internment camps. And you talk about crazy energy left over. It was not a good place to live. I'll put it to you that way. I suggested she sell her home.
My goodness.
Yeah.
So how does a person deal with a house that is haunted or that is shared with those from the other side who don't know they're dead? It must be very confusing for the person as well as confusing for the spirit.
Yes, it is. I always suggest that there are many ways you can clear a house with sage, burning sage. And I always tell people to claim their space. And that is ask the spirits, if they're in the home to relinquish their space, and this is their space now, and go on your way. And I always remind them it's not like the movies where the spirit's going to retaliate. That's in the movies, because otherwise it'd be a boring movie. So that's one of the main things I tell them to do. And there are certain steps you can do to clear your house of energy, because there is leftover energy everywhere. And so you can clear that out of your house very easily.
Why do people use sage to clear a house? Couldn't they use marijuana and have happy spirits?
That's a very, very good question.
There you go. Try it.
I don't know why sage. I don't know. I know it's very powerful. I don't really like the smell myself, but I will use it because it is a really powerful energy clearing tool. So, or they could try marijuana, to each his own.
You'd have spirits and great spirits, right?
That's right. A lot of spirits.
Are graveyards usually haunted?
Well, again, that's leftover energy,
okay.
And it's very strong. They call it actually potent energy that remains.
But would that be the energy of the grievers at the site in the graveyard? Because those who were put into the graveyard had no energy left. So with I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say absolutely. You nailed it. Yes, absolutely. And this is also, Rob, like a hospital. I had a client, she works for the government, and they moved their offices, and she says, it's an old hospital. And I said, are you kidding me? And they're wondering why the space is so yucky and crowded and awful. And it's an old hospital. I mean, imagine the amount of energy, grief, happiness. I mean, the whole scale of it, so absolutely. It's the grievers. Graveyards are very active, a lot of energy there.
The perception of death after death, spirits, ghosts, hauntings that Hollywood has put out over the years, and now the so-called reality shows, what they're doing. Do you find that as an asset to your profession or a hindrance?
I think both, actually. I like that at least it's out there as an awareness. The other side of that coin is that I sort of have to reschool people because they think, who's that gal in New York, Teresa somebody, Caputo. And so they think that all psychics go around, oh, your mother's here, she wants to talk to you, doing that. And, each psychic works differently. So it's one, it's good for awareness
Mhm.
of what I do and what others do. And then you just have to, many times I've said, this is not a TV show, as kindly as possible. So
It must be very hard for you as a very empathic person as you are, when somebody comes to you like that lady to talk to her child who is on the other side. That must be one of the hardest things that you do.
it's very difficult. But it's also strangely very fulfilling, because I know when she hung up today after we spoke for an hour that she felt better. She felt connected. Her son came through. I mean, her entire family came through.
Wow.
So for her, it was, and she was crying, and it was very emotional. But it's a relief and it's a release. So a friend of mine put it very well. She said, people don't come to see you when everything's going great.
True.
And it's true. It's true.
What happens if somebody comes to you to communicate with someone on the other side, and the other person on the other side has been reincarnated?
It's extremely rare. It does happen. Extremely rare. And the way my guides explain it to me, Rob, is this way, is that on the other side, there is no time and space like there is here. We're very, everything in little boxes. And there is no time and space there. And so they say that when we get back to the other side, that this life is time-wise like a blip on the screen, just a moment in time, whereas we're thinking, well, gosh, I lived till I was, whatever, 75 or 80. So it's very different. It's very apples and oranges. It's hard to compare it. It has happened to me, I want to say maybe once or twice in all these years.
And who comes to see you most, men or women?
Absolutely women. I do have men clients, and the men that do come are very, committed to this. They get it. And then a lot of men just don't get it. I'm not sure what that's about. But mainly women.
These are the guys who refuse to use a map when driving to a destination. They're the guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Those are the guys. Yeah.
You and I have to take our final break. Great talking with you. Exonation Lorna Adams is our very special guest. And if you'd like to contact Lorna, www.lornaadams.com. I'll be back on the other side of this break as we wrap up this hour here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. After all, this is a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And I've got to tell you something, Exonation. After 26 years of doing this show, I know for a fact that fiction, 9 times out of 10, is stranger yet more convincing than reality can ever be. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
Hi everyone, Rob McConnell here, and I wanted to spend a moment on internet streaming. Everybody has heard about internet streaming, but not many know much about it. Did you know the internet streams just about everything?
Movies.
From new releases to old classics.
TV shows.
Almost every show, every episode, and much more. But the question has always been, how do you do it? Well now, thanks to the folks at 123 Ready TV, I have the answer for you. They have developed a simple program app, 123 Ready TV, that you install on your Windows PC, Android smartphone, or Android tablet that can have you streaming like a pro in less than 5 minutes. You truly won't believe how much is available or how easy it is to do until you try. And for a one-time cost of only $19.99, this product is a real winner. To learn more about 123 Ready TV, visit our website at www.xzbn.net.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A Soul Balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today, www.soulbalancing.world. There's a legend shared by many indigenous cultures of a time when the nations were cast to the 4 corners of the world. Each nation was given a body of sacred knowledge that held a different portion of the truth to preserve. True reality could not be known until all the nations reunited, combining the information. If a single one was missing, the world could not be reborn and darkness would prevail. The Science of Magic Radio is dedicated to reuniting the sacred knowledge. With the understanding, none of us has all the answers, but together we can open new perceptions and possibilities. Through our combined vision, the world can be reborn into a place where darkness no longer prevails. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic daily on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net, or visit us at thescienceofmagic.net.
Exonation Lorna Adams is our guest this hour, www.lornaadams.com. Lorna, are there any questions that cannot be asked to the spirits on the other side?
Not really. They're happy to talk about absolutely anything. They're once in a while, not too often, I'm not allowed to access certain information. The guides feel that perhaps that information is, if the person knew it, it would not be for their highest good. This is sort of like they always tell me, if your child is getting ready for a math quiz, do you give him the answers? And are you helping your child if you do that? Or do you allow the child to work towards it and, find his own way? So that's the metaphor that they always give me with that. And some things are just not, we just don't need to know them right now. It doesn't happen, thank goodness, that often. Pretty much, it's an interesting process. I can tap into anybody's energy, and all I need is their first name So if you had anybody in your life, Rob, that you wanted to know about how they're doing or whatever it is, whatever question, all I need is their first name. I don't know why it's like that. It just is.
What do the spirits say the purpose of life is?
Oh, ask me something more important. Let's see. That, yeah, you know, it's, they talk a lot about reincarnation. And when you ask that question, they say, and around we go. It really is, much like that. Our immediate family is always, people, souls, entities that we've been around with many, many, many times.
Right.
That's why immediate family can, offer some of the toughest lessons there are. Toughest relationships many times, immediate family.
So where do you think the realm of psychic phenomenon is going to be 10 years down the road? Because over the past 10 years, there has been so much awareness when it comes to the work that, credible psychics like yourself do, channels do, mediums do. And it seems that the doors keep on opening wider, wider, wider. But with that comes the negative side where the charlatans start raising their ugly heads. How can somebody know if a psychic, a medium, or a channel is credible and not just somebody out for the fast cash grab?
I think the best way is one of the best ways is to, does that person resonate with you? If they have a website, do you like the website? Do you like the information that you read? Is the person transparent with their prices, with their time? Are they professional? They make an appointment. What type of readings? Do they offer Skype readings or phone readings? And Yelp, these sorts of things, reviews that people leave. But the biggest thing is how you feel about this person. And not everybody is for everybody. Some people, may not prefer me, may prefer a different, personality type. I know for a fact that the veil between this world and that world is getting thinner all the time. I know that. I experienced that as well, what you just said about the last 10 years. It's an amazing thing.
Why is the veil becoming thinner? What's happening?
I think I am a believer that we're in for a big shift, a big change. I believe that's coming. It's not gloom and doom. The guides always tell me it's, again, not like a movie, that there will be plenty of time for preparation and this sort of thing. And I believe that. And I think that's part of the reason why people, all types of people, I get the strangest phone calls, have access to the other side and to their spirit guides, more so now, like you said, than ever before. That's my experience with people, that I talk to a lot of people. So I think it's in preparation for this change that is coming, that's inevitable.
Are you hearing that more and more people are having communication with loved ones who have passed in their dreams?
Yes, which is astral travel or astral projection. Some people don't like to know that they're leaving their bodies at night, but I always tell my clients sleeping, the sleep state is the closest that we come to death. So we can access other realms, other dimensions during sleep. So, when you saw your dad or your sister in your dream, and you actually felt them there, that's real. That's not a dream. That actually happened.
Do you believe that each and every one of us has the ability to contact those on the other side?
I do. Absolutely. Meditation is a great tool to help you get there, to help you access that other realm.
What does meditation do?
The point of meditation is to clear the mind, the monkey mind, the craziness, the minute you put your head on the pillow, your mind goes crazy. Meditation is meant to clear the mind and also connect with spirit and just quiet the mind so you can hear what they're saying, what they're suggesting, because they always have suggestions which are for your highest good.
Besides meditation, is there anything that someone can do to enhance their psychic ability or the ability to channel with those on the other side?
Well, automatic writing is how I started when I was young, and a lot of people can do automatic writing. So I suggest you sit down with a pen and a pad of paper, clear your mind, and focus on one person who's passed who you'd like to hear from. And then the biggest thing is when that information comes through, from spirit or from that person who has passed, don't judge it. Don't say, "Oh, this is all in my mind." Just go with it. Just write it down. You have nothing to lose. Just trust it. That's the biggest thing. We get in our own way so many times.
A couple of years ago, or a few years ago, there was a movie that made people sit up and notice what you do and other members of the profession do, and that was Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Whoopi Goldberg, who played the medium, the channel. How close to that is reality, or is that just another example of Hollywood bullcrap?
I think it's pretty close. As far as, Whoopi Goldberg seeing Patrick Swayze in full color, I'm not so sure about that. But that is definitely, it's a story. It has to be entertaining. But that's, sometimes people will come through to me just like that, or they will materialize sitting next to the client. Not in full color, but the person is there and they're standing a certain way that they did in life, and I'll pass that on and they'll tell me what to tell the client. I'm wearing this, I'm wearing these pants, and it means something to the client. So I don't judge the information that comes through. I just pass it on. So that's one way. If you can try automatic writing or meditation to communicate, because your guides are right there. They're right there with you.
How do we know who our guides are?
Oh, gosh. Well, we have quite a few of them. And guides are, I'm told, they're entities that have had physical lives and choose this time around to stay on the other side while we take the physical body and come in and lead a life. And again, I refer to spirit guides as that inner knowing, that gut feeling. It's sort of the feeling when you walk into a house. I was house shopping years ago and walked into a house, and I was just overwhelmed and just thought, oh, yuck. I don't know what's happened here. And I think we've all felt that in different spaces. And I say that's them. That's spirit. Those are your spirit guides.
With a lot of the television shows that are on these days that are spawning less than reputable ghost hunting groups, do you think that the spirits are getting really ticked off at the way they're being disrespected?
I think some of them, yes. I think, and disrespected is the word, definitely. I think some of them, it's they say an affront to their intelligence, because they are really ridiculous. Some of these shows are just so, I just think, who is funding this? What happened? How did this get on TV? It's amazing. And it's just so stupid, some of the things. And it doesn't prove anything.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point that you bring out, because I do think they get annoyed and insulted.
We've got about 40 seconds left. What are your final thoughts for the X Zone Nation tonight, Lorna?
You just put me on the spot, Rob.
I always do.
I would say that if you choose to have a reading, make sure that you like the person and the person that you're going to. Find out as much information as you can about them. When I do readings, everything that comes through is for someone's highest good. So make sure that person is not dealing in negative or dark energies, spells, and these kinds of things. They're very serious. I say steer clear of them. They can be dangerous. So make sure you know who you're dealing with. That's what I would suggest.
Lorna, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been a great pleasure talking to you. Thank you for sharing your time with us, and I look forward to the next time you and I meet back here in the X Zone. Until then, take care of yourself, my friend. X Zone Nation, if you'd like to contact Lorna Adams, her website is www.lornaadams.com. I am Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news at 6.5 minutes past the top of the hour, as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.